We're here with Jani. Jani has an agency for bachelor parties in Europe. It's the ultimate bachelor party company, and I wanted to do a strategy session where I could kind of help your company out, answer questions, and I'd like for you to talk to them about some of the unique things you were telling me about earlier about your bachelor party, and also why is it growing, how is it expanding, what makes it so people want to fly around the world to your bachelor party. And then I wanted to go into a strategy session, answer your questions, and ask questions that could help you. I think that any questions that help you will probably be interesting to anyone else because your company is so fascinating.
True. So I actually saw it the first time 7 years ago. I attended your seminar in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, and I had the chance to speak with you yesterday, and I was so fascinated. And you also had tons of mentors in your life. I know you're big in having mentors. I came home and I was like, I want you to mentor me. You're so smart, and I want to expand my business in Vegas. So actually the question I have for you is, so I sent you this text. I was like, look, like I'm gonna invite you over for a dinner. So what could I do better to get you to become my mentor? Like rating my approach to get you. Like how could I improve that? What did I do well, and what could I do better the next time?
Well, the first thing is you asked. You said, "Hey, would you like to join my board of advisors?" And I just said yes.
Yeah.
And I did that because I think it's fun. Also, I think it'd be some cool videos. I think you're a cool guy. You're fun to hang out with.
Thanks.
You know.
Thanks.
But I mean, I think the key is that you stay in touch. I mean, I've been a mentor for other people, and then people have mentored me, and if I lose touch with that person, it kind of just totally disappears. But I mean, you're kind of stuck because you're kind of friends with Tyler and a bunch of other people in our clan now. So that's kind of cool, and I think that is probably the first step. I think that the other thing is a lot of people just don't reach out to mentors and ask for guidance. They kind of just have their own path.
And I think we're all also scared, because also when I was texting you, I was like I thought, oh, you probably get like hundreds of messages like that. Hey, would you help me out? Like,
no, actually, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I'll get responses for questions only if I ask for it again and again and again and again on YouTube. And I think the same thing happens to almost everyone.
Yeah,
so you'll be surprised. I know a lot of people that have created companies that have made billions of dollars. I have a lot of friends who made companies that have expanded on such a high level, doing something really important for the world. And you'll be surprised how few people know the right questions to ask, or any questions to ask. And I think as a result, when people ask a question, they're thankful for it because they're thinking at least somebody is genuinely curious and has the intelligence to actually formalize the questions. You know?
Yeah, makes sense. So what is the thing that you're looking in me or in anyone that you would like to become a mentor for? Like what are the traits that you're looking for?
Well, the biggest thing is I just want to know for sure that I can help you. I want to know that not only that you're coachable, I want to know that you have a company that I know stuff about. I believe that because I was in the entrepreneurs organization, I know a lot of people in the EO-YPO network where they have forums of non-competing industries of people who make, you know, $1, 15 or whatever $million a year, or much more sometimes. We all just do strategy sessions, and you'll be surprised, even though that our companies have nothing to do with each other, how similar some of the experiences we've had in our business, family, and life are, and how it could help each other, just from the learning lessons we've done from that. So I think that I could answer a lot of questions just to help pretty much any company, and I'm doing this for fun right now, at least for the next year, so we'll see what happens.
Wow, cool. Okay, so the first question is, so I want to move my company. So we are now organizing the bachelor parties in Slovenia. That's a very small market. So I want to attack Vegas now. That's our potentially new market. I think the market is huge. And so the first thing is that scares me is that I don't know anyone in Vegas.
Except for me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you are my first contact. So what should I do first when I get to Vegas? Who should I meet? What kind of conference should I attend?
Well, I don't think you necessarily need conferences. Your industry, you're trying to establish partnerships with bar owners.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, when I established partnerships with bar owners, because we're doing things with Vegas Immersion, we're partnering with the VIP hosts and the promoters, the general managers, and the owners.
Okay.
And we're going there during regular day hours and networking with them, building relationships, and also going out at night and networking with them as well. We'll go to parties where they're at or the door, network with them, exchange contact information, and follow up with them. I might invite them out to lunch or dinner and talk to them more about what I'm doing. But I'll also call them during normal hours. I mean, we've done this in the past because I've rented out nightclubs, I've done events, I've also established partnerships, and I almost even started my own bar in Vegas 3 times. But I never actually followed through, but I had contracts. So I learned a lot about this industry, about how to do that. I also would partner with, not just partner with, but get to know and befriend those people that may be already doing it, just to understand. And also relationships with the people that are socialites. So you kind of know the hottest places to go. Now if you come down to Vegas, I can introduce you to some people that are just really popular socially in the Las Vegas scene. I know in downtown Vegas, there is a lot of people that are just really connected to other people. If you go to any city, I mean, even in your city, you know probably a lot of local business people, fun people, social people. I'd assume that a lot of the people, or a lot of things I'm saying, you've already established the same kind of relationships with these kind of people. And whether it's this industry or anything else, you know, you just need to find the right people. And I think that you'll be surprised if you just cold call these people. A lot of people are waiting for introductions. But I don't think you need to necessarily have an introduction to get started in any city that you want. You just need to know what your business model is. You have social proof already too. You've already created a company that's making a lot of money. Now you just want to expand it from Europe to America, and I think that you could very easily replicate your model.
Thank you.
But I would love for you to also explain to me also about what your parties are and how they're different than the other events. I mean, you're talking to me earlier at lunch that, for example, in your bachelor party, you'll handcuff the future bachelor to a midget all night long.
Yeah.
You might have strippers. You might have crazy access to crazy parties. What are unique things that are unique about your events?
So the first thing what we do different, especially compared to the agencies here in the States, is we don't organize just the party, but we organize the whole weekend. So for example, we will take you rafting, canyoning, we will show you the city, we will take you to the best restaurants, and then we'll also organize you the epic party with the strippers, with the midgets and stuff like that. So that's the first thing that we organize. We try to organize the whole weekend with epic shit from the morning to the evening to the nightlife, everything. And the second thing is, so my first company is the Club Crawl company. So now I own 2 companies, the Pub Crawl or the Club Crawl company and the Bachelor Party company. So I live in a small city, and especially on weekdays or during the summer, bars and clubs are pretty much empty. It's a small city, but because my 2 agencies together have so many people each night, we can bring them together and fill up all the bars and the clubs. So they actually think and experience Ljubljana, Slovenia as a like super fun party city, but it's something that we create with our clients.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that you could create that kind of image in Ljubljana when you're having people flying in from Paris or Germany, what have you. That's amazing to me. I mean, I can imagine that for Vegas because it already has the reputation as the ultimate entertainment capital of the world.
True.
But I mean, it's amazing that you're doing it for that.
Yep. Actually, our biggest club crawl was around 550 people one night.
It's like a festival.
Yeah. So it's huge. So that's why I think Vegas is our next stop. It makes sense.
Well, in Vegas, I didn't go out in Ljubljana to the super clubs. I know in Vegas you have clubs that can fill thousands of people. In Ljubljana, you have the same experience?
No.
Yes, this is you going to a club, and the whole club, all the guys, all the girls, all are your clients.
Yep.
You go to in Vegas, you'll have to have wristbands or some way of tracking your people, and they have to show up on time or the bounce. Yeah. So, unless you go to the pubs downtown, because they'll be very similar to Ljubljana.
Yeah, you said that before. Yeah.
What
I noticed by hanging with you, we had lunch before. So you own this huge company, and not just own, you're a CEO, right? And you don't have tons of calls and texts that you have to urgently reply or emails. So you look like you're not busy at all. So what are your, give me some like tips or tricks about time management, because you have to be like damn good at like doing all of this while still, like, you play golf almost every day.
Well, I play golf every day in the morning before I go to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I heard right, you don't use email.
Well, I'm an assistant, so
Okay.
I have emails.
Okay.
So the first thing is, yeah, I don't read any of my emails unless somebody else reads it for me first and tells me to read that email. And she checks every single email and she'll respond to the emails. But she organizes a sit rep. It's a military term for a situation update report.
Okay.
And basically how it works is she'll tell me who are the people that told me, or who are the people that reached out to me that I need to hear about. She'll ignore all the spam or people that she thinks that I shouldn't need to talk to, people that are filtered out. So I'll give her guidelines of how to filter out people.
Okay.
If it's like a marketing call, something that I'm not interested in. If it's somebody who wants to interview me or is a media journalist that is from an untrusted source. If it's from somebody who has no credibility, if it's just a random person that is messaging me something that's silly, or it's in broken English and it doesn't really make sense, she'll filter out all that stuff. And if it's important, but it's something that can be solved by someone in my team, it'll be filtered to somebody. So if it's in cover letter resume, it'll be in HR. If it's about finance for one of my instructors, I'll go to the CFO. If it's urgent issues, it's about something that needs to be talked about on a strategic level, then I'll respond. In terms of like my phone calls, I have caller ID, and I'll filter out calls. I'll block call numbers that I don't want to talk to. Now, this could sometimes get me in trouble because sometimes I won't answer the call of somebody who's important. I might lose money.
Makes sense.
But it does allow me to free up my time. Now, if I look at what my calls are now, and people are trying to spam me or what have you, I won't answer the calls. But I've looked at the number of times that I'll get like a call that I don't want to talk to, and it's less than 10 calls a day. So I'll answer most of my calls nowadays, unless I'm in a meeting. My time of what I want to do with my time is more important. I've planned it out. Now, I know also that it's not necessarily always the best way. I know that Tony Hsieh, he has a company that he sold for $1 billion to Amazon. He's a good friend of mine, and he actually created a system about how to manage his email. If you Google it, you could find it on the internet. It's a blog post, because everyone always asked him, how do you manage your email? Because he's the CEO of this company. You're running how a guy who has thousands of people who work for him. Me, we're in the hundreds, but he has thousands. So I'm thinking, this is amazing. Every time I send him an email, he responds, and it's super fast, super quick. Well, he's super fast though. So I mean, his email isn't even Windows based. So if you look at email, you have like a window that pops up.
Okay.
You go to Google or Gmail or something like that.
Yeah.
He uses the old school system. I know this because when I was 12 years old, I used to do the same thing. It's called a Unix. It's an operating system behind the system, right?
Yeah,
and there's a system called Pine. You go like this, and the screen just flashes. You have to very quickly see the subject or who it's from. And you don't even write normal emails. If you want to respond to an email, you have to write some code, and then you have to respond. And then you type it up really fast, and the screen's just flashing bright lights one after another. So he can do that fast. I've seen him do it, and it's super amazing. I used to do that too, but I was nowhere near as fast because I was a 12-year-old kid. That's when I was doing it. Eventually, Windows-based email systems, like 99+% of the population uses, But in terms of text messages, people could text me, they respond to me, and I respond to them. And so it's always very, very fast and quick. If I don't respond to a text within like 3 hours, I'll be very angry, unless I'm involved with something, because I know that I view texting like the person's right next to me, and they're important. If they have my phone number, they're usually supposed to have my phone number. We do have Skype groups, and I'll skim those super fast, and we'll have up to like 10 people in Skype groups, different teams, and then face-to-face meetings. I always do that all day, throughout the day. I always have meetings. Sometimes I'll even do it during golf. I mean, most of my golfing sessions, might be playing with some attorneys of some kind, because we're always doing some kind of legal stuff,
Makes sense.
And also they're my friends. I build rapport with them, and they also introduce me to people. So business people, CEOs of all kinds. So that's what's going on there.
Wow, amazing. you worked with tons of people in your career so far. So what did you learn from your experiences? Can you motivate someone that can motivate himself? Can you install a hunger to someone that is not hungry, or is that just impossible?
You know, I made a video about this.
Okay.
It was called How to Motivate Your Deadbeat Friends and Family.
Okay.
Because a lot of people will just keep telling them to do the same thing again and again. You need to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah.
But they don't want it for themselves. And now, the most common thing that I'll hear from people is that people have to make the choice to do that themselves. But then you're asking me like, well, how can I influence that choice? Because that doesn't have any action on you. That's all their decision. So your question is about how you could actually influence that. I think the best way to do that is for two things. One, you should be a role model. You should show them that you could do what you need to do and hustle and do it in an extreme way. Also introducing them to people that are really doing that themselves, getting them into their soul circle. I mean, so commonly people are influenced by their circumstance and the people that are influential to them. You know, there's a common phrase which is, you are the average of the people you hang around the most. It's like the 5 most, I mean, but the thing is, I believe that it's twofold. One is, yeah, you get influenced and inspired by the people around you, but at the same time, you kind of are your own person. So you need to build your independence. I mean, if I was the average of the people that I hang around the most, it would be my family and my cats. But that's not necessarily in business. So I don't think that statement is 100% accurate. I think it's just a catchphrase. You choose a number, a random number, like 5. Right?
Sounds good.
But I think it's useful though to surround yourself from that, or just send them to trips. Now, one thing I've done as a trick is that my brother, he's a guy who just got out of a divorce, you know, and I wanted to get him an RC boot camp, right? Okay. So he doesn't want to go to RC boot camp, but he did want to go to London. So I said, hey, I want you to go to London with me, and I'm going to pay for your flight and your hotel. I'm just going to choose the itinerary. Is that cool with you? He goes, yeah, cool. I said, cool, I will even buy you some clothes. Nice clothes so you can go out to the bars. And then I took him to boot camp.
And
he thought it was awesome. He loved it.
Wow.
Yeah. So sometimes you just have to force people into things. Maybe giving them as a gift. You know, you give someone a gift, they have to use it. You know?
Makes sense. What did you learn? Because you're a co-owner with Owen, right? So what did you learn? Because how I see it, you own the same, you run the same company, but you have different personalities, and you both do the different things for the company. You have different roles. What did you learn in the past years about working in partnerships in business context?
Well, our partnership is very different than, say, most partnerships. Most people will partner with external firms or people that they're not necessarily very close with. Okay. And as a result, they don't have the same level of trust. And we'll partner with different companies for certain things, certain resources or certain tools or services, right? But for a true partnership, it's kind of like a marriage where you have to trust that person inside and out. And you also have to have complementary skill sets. Now, when we first got to know each other, we had the exact same thing. We were both basically just going out to the bars and clubs and doing pickup, but then we had to evolve. If we didn't do different things, we would both be replaceable to each other. We didn't have things that one guy was doing that was different. I eventually moved more into business and he moved more into the curriculum end of things. Now, we'll still have some skill sets that are complementary and feed off each other, but we have one balance going one the other. That's actually a very popular question also. In fact, I made a whole video just about that topic as well before the political campaign, you know, the presidential campaign earlier this year. And I think that it's unique because a lot of people fail to get business relationships, partnerships to work. Most people will have them fail. So I know a lot of people who just talk from their own personal experience and say, don't form a business partnership because it will fail. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time it does. Yeah. Because they don't have that trust. I mean, Owen to me is more of a brother than a business partner. You know, if he wanted to walk away or I wanted to walk away, we could. But I mean, everything would fall apart. So I mean, there's a lot of reliance. There's interdependence. You know, we are stronger together than not. And that's what has to happen in every partnership. If you don't have that, then the partnership's not worth it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we're not dependent on each other. We're not independent of each other, but we're interdependent. So we're working off of each other's skill sets. And by having each other work together, as opposed to not, it's fine. If we didn't have each other, we'd both be fine. But by having each other, we could accomplish so many more things. And that's why you want to partner with certain people and know that, you know. We're not doing it for the money either. I know a lot of people will try to get partnerships with people because of money. They want the mentoring or the money.
Okay.
And they'll go to investors.
Yeah.
We've never accepted investor money. I know that one of the big things that my mentor or an advisor and friend, Tony, he created Zappos. He accepted investor money, but they were so annoying. They're always trying to interfere with him. So he eventually bought all their shares back. He didn't want their money. And I think that a lot of people will struggle with that. They'll think that all they have to do is get the right VCs, they build their company, they sell it. And that works for, you know, 1 out of every 6 truly amazing company. And I would say 99% of companies are not truly amazing. But most people can't do that. That's why I also like the idea of what we did. We bootstrapped from the ground up. We weren't relying on external money. We didn't borrow any money from anyone. We never took a loan from friends or family either. We just did it ourselves. And as a result, we're not accountable to anybody. We can do whatever we want. And so we can be creative. We can think outside the box. We can do things that are controversial. And that's an advantage that we have. It keeps us fresh on our toes. But you also have to find people that you trust. The most important thing is for partnerships, values. You have the same common values. The same thing in relationships and in marriage. Yeah.
Makes sense. So I saw, and like most of us saw, that your company went through this roller coaster in the past few years. Do you have any spiritual practices or like any kind of practices that helps you to stay on track even in the worst times that you've been through?
For me, I picked up golf to relax.
Oh, okay.
You know, I picked it up because I wanted to go outside. I just felt like being outdoors and doing something physical got my head clear, and also led to networking, what have you. I don't meditate. I mean, I'll do fun things with my wife and my close friends. I think that's cool. Okay. I mean, I'm more of a logical guy. I'm not into like religion. Okay. I'm not into the typical sense of spirituality. You know, I think that one of my friends in the interview, he defined spirituality as you're just trying not to be a jerk. And so under that case, I'm spiritual. Yeah. But I mean, in the sense of how people typically define spirituality, I'm not really into that stuff. I mean, I've studied stuff, NLP, hypnosis, meditation, and I've been to retreats with some of the most powerful people in the industry. I mean, we're in the self-help business, so I've networked with a lot of the famous celebrities that you'll hear of in the industry. And probably many of them you'll see in my interviews. I mean, like this guys from The Secret, like John Osroff, or celebrities that Owen talks about. I mean, I'll put them on my channel. These are my friends. I know a lot of people, and I want to share that value with other people. It's not necessarily the most entertaining to learn sometimes. And that's why some people will not want to learn, because they want to be stuck with the flashy thing. That's not necessarily the thing that you're going to learn from. But at the same time, I understand that. And that's why in the future, we're also creating more infotainment. You go to some more events in order to entertain you. We will do things like crowd surfing, or maybe music videos, or hip hop and rap, or interactive exercises that get crazy, things that you didn't think possible. Mission Impossible exercises, where you go out into the real world and you kind of mess with the pieces of the world by interacting with random people doing various activities that you don't think that typical people are supposed to do, kind of like pranks. But or public speaking, forcing a speech out of nowhere in the middle of Trafalgar Square as an example, you know, and then seeing how many people surround you while you're doing that. Just random things like that I think are kind of interesting and engaging. But I mean, that's how we keep people engaged, as opposed to just reading something or watching something. That's what makes us more real. We also tinker with things. So I mean, I guess the question though is going back to spirituality and what I do.
Yeah. Or like any kind of practices that you keep yourself on the track in the bad times.
Yeah. I mean, in the times that are bad, very, very bad, I want to do those things that remind me of the best memories that I have going on in my life. So I might just hang out with my wife or play video games with my friends. Just I'm not talking about like hanging out with just rich and powerful people. I mean, you look at my YouTube channel and it's like millionaire, billionaire entrepreneurs and best-selling authors and celebrities and stuff. But many of my friends are just humble, normal people that I'll hang out with, and I hang out with them with no particular agenda, just they're good people. I mean, most people, that's the kind of people they want to hang out with anyway.
And what did you, so you had tons of mentors in your life and you were mentoring tons of people. What were the mistakes that young entrepreneurs like I am did most of the time? Like, are there like some mistakes that we usually do when we start our business?
The number one mistake that I see people doing is that they'll start a company and they're not chasing the money. What that means is that they will have this awesome business plan, but they're focusing on building the plan and putting the pieces together as opposed to just doing it, to start getting the money in. Chase the money, get the money first. So, you know, the most common phrase that you'll hear like in an MBA program is always get that first customer. And then now my belief is that you should get that first customer, then another customer, as fast as possible. I don't care if the product needs to be developed more. I don't care if the marketing is not there yet. You need to just sell and make sure you get money coming in. Get deposits, get cash flow as fast as possible. Just get customers pummeling through your product and service as fast as possible so you get as much feedback to improve upon it. You know, whether it's a beta test and you're just doing that as fast as possible before you release it to a mass public, but you're just trying to get your product into many people as soon as possible and just getting it out there. A lot of people just kind of perfect everything before it comes out there. They're afraid of talking about what even your company does. And that's the biggest mistake. I met a guy who won a business competition. He was the winner of a local competition here in Southern California. So he had all these VCs that could be your advisor.
Okay.
And I'm advisors for a lot of these VCs. So they asked me to meet with him. And I talked to him about his company. I said, well, look, here's some of my ideas. Now, do you want to learn more? He goes, yeah, okay, cool. Well, if you're interested, I'll give you more free sessions and strategy sessions. All I want you to do is put it on my YouTube channel and I could have your ideas spread to a lot of people. You don't have to talk about whatever you don't want to talk about. Because, oh, I want people to know anything about my company. It's too new and so awesome. Everyone's going to want to steal it. Now, no matter what awesome idea you have, nothing's that awesome.
And unique.
You need to get your ideas out there and have people learn what you're doing, or else it's just not going to grow. I mean, I've yet to hear an idea that's so super awesome. Everyone thinks their idea is so awesome and so rare. But if you don't put it out there, someone else is going to steal it. Because there's probably a lot of people that have very similar ideas. I even told him, I think your idea is good. I actually had a very similar idea. I just didn't do it. But I bought the URL, I created a company for it, and I just didn't execute on it. But it was a little different than yours. So here's how it was different. But if me doing that, I'm sure there's thousands of other people who thought the same thing. So just getting his idea out there is not a bad thing. In fact, one of the things I found is that people who just get it out there will connect and meet with those other people that just haven't put the pieces together. And I almost did that for a technology company because I took some time away where I was not the CEO, Owen was the CEO, and I was looking at creating a tech platform. And at that time, I met people that were in the technology industry for Airbnb, for just office spaces. It's just that it wasn't more Airbnb, it was more institutions that were using their legitimate conference room space. I mean, we do over 1,000 events a year, so I said, hey, I'd use this. I would create this company just for myself, just for my own company.
Okay.
But when I put that idea out there, I started meeting professors from I graduated from Cornell's hotel school, from their business school, after I did my MBAs. And one of the things that the professor was introducing me to all these other people who had very similar companies. I thought that was great because then I can meet other people. Now, if I was scared of my idea, like, oh, they have a very similar idea, maybe I should talk to them. They offered to partner with me, and I ended up not doing it because I went back to work with RSD and become the CEO again. But I think that's the hugest mistake that I think people have. Now you want to get your idea in front of as many people as possible because they'll always add something to it if they're smart and they have similar experiences. And I've found that people that, especially business owners that have a certain amount of revenue, they're doing at least 7 or 8 or 9 figures of revenue, and they're business owners that have a lot to share. And even if they're just peers, like who are doing less money, but almost there. I think it's still an awesome opportunity because you'll just learn from helping other people. Some people just need to put things into words, and then it helps clarify what they're doing. Sometimes I'll talk to students and I'll write notes for myself because when I talk about a topic, let's say it's about marketing or operations, my mind's not focused just on what I'm talking to you about. It's like, oh, it's an interesting topic. It reminds me of how I could also use these principles for my already existing company and how I could help that company work. So I think that was the biggest value of my MBA. It wasn't necessarily they're teaching me certain things that could help my specific company.
Yeah.
It's a tangential innovations that happened off of their random topics they brought in front of me that led to things like the RC Free Tour and all sorts of other crazy events. If you're interested more about Jani's company, I know I am, read the description below. I'll have some more information about it. And if you have any questions that you want to have me answer in future videos, write those questions in the comments below. I read all of them, and I'll probably make a video about the ones that I think everyone will be interested in, because that's how I get the content for this channel. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope you see the next video and enjoy it. Cheers.